Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Farah, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a tag. This is only my second tag ever, and this one is called the Reader's Problem Tag. I was tagged by fellow YouTuber Sam Harrison, and I'll leave a link to his channel below. I'm not sure who the original creator of the tag was though. I don't think the people before me knew either, so unfortunately I can't give them credit. But thank you so much, Sam. I'm really excited to be tagged. This is the first time anyone's tagged me in a video, so here we go. You have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? So 20,000 books on the TBR, that would give me so much anxiety. So basically the way I decide what to read each month is that I usually think if there's a theme to a particular month, like for example, I always try to read books by authors if we're celebrating a particular heritage month. So for example, for November, I'm going to be trying to read some books by Indigenous authors here in the US to celebrate Indigenous Heritage Month. For February, if it's Black History Month, I always try to read mostly Black authors or stories about Black culture and things like that. So that's kind of where I start. I also started participating in some readathons, so that has given me a lot of direction too. But overall, I'm pretty much a mood reader. I have a full list of holds with my library app, so usually when one becomes available, I'll just listen to that on audio. It's not a huge process, kind of just whatever I'm in the mood to read. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? So I will admit it is hard for me to DNF a book. I am getting a lot better though. I don't know why. I just sometimes push through books and I really shouldn't. There's actually a book I just read in September, which I should have DNF'd, but sometimes I'm just so curious and I need to know, especially if it's kind of a popular book and I just need to know why people love it so much. But I am getting better. So I am getting better at DNFing. I really should just DNF a book if it's not vibing with me. I'm better at it if it's an audiobook, because if I can't get on with audio narrator, I just can't listen to it. So I'll DNF it and I'll kind of pretend that I'll get the physical book out, but a lot of times I just don't ever go through with that. So yeah, kind of bad at DNFing, but gonna try to be better. Question number 3 is, the end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? So I kind of set the bar, kind of low when it comes to the Goodreads challenges. I did set it the highest I ever tried to set it, which was 50 books. I did complete that. So I read 51 books already this year. But in the past, I think 2 years ago, I set it for like 30 books and I was getting to the end of the year and I was kind of way off. So I started counting the books that I read out loud to my kids. So I feel like it's not really cheating because I did read it with them. But yeah, I guess I did kind of use that. But going forward, no, I don't really care. I mean, I set it low enough where I know I'm going to reach that number. Question number 4. The covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? Pretty well, I guess. I do have, it looks like a full bookshelf here, but these are mostly books that I thrift from used bookstores or books that my sister has given me or just random odds and ends. I am going to be working on this year kind of getting rid of any mass market paperbacks, anything that I can convert to ebook that I think that I might reread again. So if covers of a series don't match, it doesn't bother me at all, because to be honest, I want the physical books to go down in number, and then I want to collect books that are already part of collections. So for example, the Penguin Drop Caps book, I started a collection of those. What else? Macmillan Library, I have a small collection of those. So those I already know match and they look pretty. But as far as books in my collection now, I have mix and match everything, and it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Question number 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? I don't know. I don't really bond with too many people in my normal life because I don't have a ton of readers around me, friends and family. I mean, some read a little bit, but not as much as I do. So I would say if I read a book that I really didn't like, but a lot of people do, sometimes what I'll do is I'll go on Goodreads and I'll look at the 1-star to 2-star ratings and I'll see what they have to say and see if I agree with them, and then I kind of like comment on their reviews, or I'll look at book reviews on YouTube. I'll Google the name of the book in the search, and sometimes you can tell by the person's thumbnail if they liked it or not, and if it looks like they didn't like it, then I'll watch the video and I'll just kind of add my thoughts to it. So I guess that's kind of my way of bonding with somebody over an unpopular opinion. Question number 6. You're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you feel? I would say that if I do get to a part in a book that I feel like I'm going to get emotional over, I will just stop reading it. I won't cry in public over a book. I can't bring myself to do that. I do get moved by books quite often, and I'm just a very emotional person. If I'm really happy, it makes me tear up, and if I'm really sad, it makes me tear up. So I don't mind crying over a book, but I will set it aside, and then I will pick the book up later when I'm by myself, so that if I can like fully experience the emotion of the book. And if it makes me cry, sometimes it's therapeutic, and I'll just think of all the other sad things in my life and I'll have a good cry, and then I'll feel like $1,000,000 later. But yeah, I don't read the emotional stuff in front of people. I don't even do it in front of my husband or my kids. It just, they don't need to see that. Question number 7. A sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in frustration? So this actually happens to me quite a bit. I am reading a couple long ongoing series. So I'm reading the J.D. Robb In Death series, and I'm also reading Outlander. So I kind of have 2 answers for this. If it's a series that's ongoing and I kind of take breaks, then sometimes what I have been doing is that I will catch myself up by getting out the audiobook, because I do go through audiobooks a lot quicker. So if I'm really loving the series, like for right now, for Outlander, I physically read up to book 4, and I want to read book 5, but it's been a while. So I've been listening to the audiobooks to catch myself up. And that's just been a really fun way for me to reread it, and I'm not in a rush about it. If it's something that is not really dependent on the plot beforehand, then I just go right into the next book. But as a general rule of thumb, I guess my second answer would be is that besides those books I just mentioned that are series that I'm still reading, I don't usually tend to start a new series if all the books aren't out yet. So if I'm going to read a series, I like to wait until all the books are done so that I can just go. I like to binge series that way. Same with like shows on Netflix and Disney Plus and things like that. I just like to experience the whole thing. Question number 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people nope when they ask? I don't really come across this very often. Like I said, I don't have a ton of huge readers in my life, my normal life. So because most of my collection that I really like, that's important to me, are classics, nobody's asking to borrow those. If somebody asks to borrow a regular paperback that I have that I don't really care about, I don't mind at all. I will let them borrow it. If it's somebody that I don't really know, and it's a really valuable book, I will direct them to use their Libby app and check it out from the library. Number 9, you've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? So for me, I honestly don't really have reading slumps, and maybe I think that could be because I read a lot of different types of books. So I kind of switch genres around a lot. Like I'll read a children's classic, and then I'll read a thriller, and then I'll read a nonfiction or a memoir, and then I'll go back and read a general fiction, and then I'll read like paranormal romance. So maybe I think because I switch around so much, I don't really get sick of one particular thing. I do sometimes need to take a break from audiobooks though. So usually I'll do that. If I'm just feeling overstimulated by listening to a book all the time, then I will take a break. And that only lasts usually a couple days. But yeah, I would just say because I keep changing the genre up, I don't really experience reading slumps, which is nice. Question number 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? 0, to be honest. I don't really purchase books outside of, like I said, we have a thrift store, or a couple of thrift stores in our area, and they usually have books for about 50 cents, both hardcover and softcover. And there's a few people that must be in my area that are readers, because I'm always finding really nice books there. So that is my weakness. I'll go in, if it's a classic that I want to read, I'll usually scoop it right up and add it to my collection and try to get to it sometime. But in general, I use my library a lot. That is like 90% of my reading, I would say. If it's a new release, I'll just look it up and I'll place a hold and I'll wait. And if it's an older release, usually I can get it right away. I use the Hoopla app and the Libby app, and between those two, I can get most of my reading done for free. The only time I really buy a book is if I've read it and I really loved it and I know that I'm probably going to reread it again someday. And then the other reason I would buy a book is if it's part of a collection, usually of classics that I just want to have displayed for like decorative purposes. So yeah, that one doesn't really apply. Number 11, after you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelves before you get them? Okay, so in the instance where I maybe did purchase a new book, they can sit on my shelf for a really long time. And I am kind of embarrassed to say that, but if it's a book that I really, really am excited to read, sometimes I just don't want to get to it yet because I like having it there. Just knowing that I have a couple of really new books that I'm probably really going to like, I kind of save them for when I need that, when I just want to be sure that I'm going to be reading a good book. So for example, I have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo on my shelf. I know I'm going to love that, but I just can't, I want to wait for the right time to read it. So yeah, sometimes I just enjoy having unread books that I'm excited about sitting on my shelf. I don't know why. Is that a thing? Does anyone relate to that? But starting in November, I am going to be doing the Read What You Own challenge. So I really, really hope to get to a lot of my TBR and just, move things out and kind of clear the clutter. And, I want to convert a lot of my paperbacks to ebook as I can find deals. And yeah, that's kind of my goal. That wasn't really the question, but there you go. So that is it for the tag. Again, thank you to Sam Harrison for tagging me. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to tag a few people as well. So these are all fellow newbie-ish booktubers that I just wanted to give a shout out to. I found their channels this month and they all have under 100 subscribers. And they're all really nice channels that I'm enjoying so far. So first we have Not Another Book Review. I'm going to tag you if you want to do this tag. Then we have Momo's Reading Corner. She's new also, and I really like her reviews. She's really well spoken and she has a really calm personality. And then I'm going to be tagging Roger's Daughter Reads. I think her name is Kim. I also just discovered her and I really like her sense of humor. And then we have Fantastical Reads, which is another newbie channel, and she focuses more on fantasy books. So if any of you guys get this message and you want to do the tag, I would love to hear your answers. And anybody else that would like to do the tag, please feel free to do it and let me know if you are planning on making a video about it, and I will definitely watch. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in my next video.